They landed under fire, fought through the hedgerows of France, crossed the Rhine into the heart of Germany. They are the 8th Infantry Regiment, the Fighting Eagles, a unit whose courage carried the 4th Infantry Division from the blood-soaked sands of Normandy to the liberation of Europe. Their story is one of endurance, valor, and victory. The 8th Infantry Regiment was born on July 11, 1838, raised for frontier duty in the young American Republic. They earned their first laurels in the Mexican-American War, fighting at Palo Alto, Resaca de la Palma, and Chapultepec, where they stormed the fortress walls and helped secure victory for the United States. In the Civil War, they fought for the Union in the Western Theater at Shiloh, Corinth, and Vicksburg, building a tradition of tenacity that would define the regiment for generations. By the early 20th century, the 8th Infantry had already fought in nearly every major American conflict. But the crucible that would forge their modern legend lay ahead, in the trenches of Europe. When America entered World War I in 1917, the 8th Infantry Regiment joined the newly formed 4th Infantry Division, known as the Ivy Division. They landed in France in the spring of 1918, just as the Allies were preparing for their final push. At Aix-en-Marne, Saint-Mihiel, and the Meuse-Argonne, the 8th fought through trenches, forests, and shattered towns, enduring gas attacks, machine gun fire, and relentless shelling. They helped break the German lines in the final offensive, driving the enemy back until the guns fell silent on November 11, 1918. By war's end, the regiment had earned the French Croix de Guerre, and the 4th Division's nickname, Ivy, for Ivy, came to symbolize the toughness and resilience of its men. In the years between the wars, the 8th Infantry Regiment served across America and the Pacific, from the Philippines to Hawaii, and later Fort Benning, Georgia. They drilled hard, modernized their tactics, and waited. By 1941, the world was at war again, and the Fighting Eagles would soon soar once more into battle. D-Day, June 6, 1944. The 8th Infantry Regiment, led by Colonel James A. Van Fleet, was among the first units of the 4th Infantry Division to hit Utah Beach. As the ramps dropped, machine gun fire raked the sand. Mines and artillery littered the shoreline. But Van Fleet's men, calm, disciplined, and determined, pushed forward through the chaos. By midday, the 8th Infantry had secured the beach and linked up with the paratroopers of the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions. They had achieved what many thought impossible, the successful landing on Utah Beach with minimal delay, the first step in liberating France. After the landings came the true test, the Normandy hedgerows, where every field was a fortress. The 8th fought in places like Montebourg, Sainte-Mère-Église, and Carentan, clawing their way through dense terrain under heavy German fire. It was slow, brutal fighting, grenade for grenade, yard by yard. But by July 1944, the regiment had broken through. The 8th led the 4th Division's advance toward Saint-Lô and the breakout from Normandy, helping open the road to Paris. As France was liberated, the 8th Infantry pressed east, crossing into Belgium and Germany. At the Siegfried Line, they faced pillboxes, bunkers, and minefields, the last great defensive wall of the Reich. In bitter autumn fighting, the regiment cracked the line wide open, seizing key strongpoints and paving the way for the Allies to cross into the German heartland. In December 1944, Hitler launched his final desperate gamble, the Battle of the Bulge. The 8th Infantry was rushed to the front, fighting near Luxembourg and Echternach, where the 4th Division's thin lines faced overwhelming German attacks. For weeks, in freezing cold and constant artillery fire, the Fighting Eagles held their ground, refusing to yield an inch. Their defense helped blunt the German offensive and secure the southern shoulder of the Bulge, preventing a breakthrough that could have split the Allied front. Their courage in those frozen forests earned the regiment a Presidential Unit Citation and a place in history. In the spring of 1945, the 8th Infantry crossed the Rhine River, sweeping through the Ruhr Pocket and capturing thousands of German troops. By May 8, 1945, the war in Europe was over, and the 8th Infantry Regiment stood victorious. They had fought continuously from Utah Beach to Czechoslovakia, covering nearly 2,000 miles of combat across Europe. When peace returned, the Fighting Eagles carried on their proud tradition, serving again in Korea, Vietnam, and the Middle East. From the trenches of France to the beaches of Normandy, from the forests of the Ardennes to the streets of Baghdad, the men of the 8th Infantry have upheld one legacy: to fight with honor, courage, and unbreakable resolve.